Thank you for joining me today to hear about how you can find contentment without losing your ambition. Now, I wrestled on whether or not to create this presentation because it addresses a deeper layer of issues my clients have brought to me, rather than the more surfacey stuff like, dragging on energy or not being able to lose the weight. It's never really about that. Those are just the symptoms. Now, as you may already know, I coach high performers, and one of the biggest recurring themes in almost all of my clients is the inner battle between contentment and ambition. And oftentimes there's this underlying belief that we have to choose between one or the other, and that's just not true. So that's the conversation we will begin today. Now, at this point, I'm going to flat out assume that you have done the foundational work of identifying and clarifying your vision, what it looks like, what it feels like, who will be impacted, what the impact is on you, others, the world, the kind of thing that the people who are not high achievers usually don't bother to do. Now, every single high achiever I've met has a vision, and a big one. Done that? Cool. Haven't done it? Also cool, because that means you've got an exciting process to look forward to. But we'll circle back around to that later. Now, you're here because you're a high achiever and you wonder how the heck it's even possible for contentment and ambition to coexist. And you're not here for business strategy or sales tools. In fact, you probably already know exactly what you need to do in that arena, or you have a go-to person for that. No, you're here because you want to get down to the heart of that feeling of it never being enough. And what I'm about to share with you is not breaking news, but it can lead to breakthrough in your life and in your business. And yes, they are separate. Your business is not your life, and your identity does not lie in your business. If it does, then we've got some more work to do, and that's okay. It really is. But let's stay within the scope of what I promised you in this presentation: finding contentment without losing ambition. And the first step is acceptance. I know, you might be rolling your eyes right now, but hear me out. Until we accept where we are right now, we cannot move through the current state of being. And listen, you might get to a higher level of income or a business revenue or whatever your external goal is, but you'll still feel the same stuckness inside. And no matter how much you achieve, it will still not be enough. So quit getting yourself all worked up and obsessed with making it to the next level. Focusing all your energies on getting to the next level is the bullshit way you numb and distract yourself from what's really beneath the surface. And look, I get it. You're worried that if you don't focus on that next level, you won't make progress and reach your goals. And here's the thing about that. So you have a vision, remember? And in that vision is a well-defined mission and purpose, right? So now it's a matter of hitting the milestones in what's really more of a linear movement than an upward trajectory. And the reason you want to get from over here to over there isn't because it's better over there. You simply perceive and expect it to be better over there than where you currently are. So maybe you've been exhausting yourself, pushing and pushing, forcing your way up, maybe even resenting the fact that you're still at this level. Now, ironically, the longest way possible to get over there is to resist where you are right now. Now, the quicker and much more enjoyable way is to accept where you are, appreciate what's good about being over here, because remember, where you are right now used to be an over there, not that long ago. And then check your alignment with your vision. And please hear me out here. Acceptance is not resignation. Resignation is throwing in the towel and giving up. Resignation is cowardly. Acceptance is coming to terms with this circumstance, situation, or season, that it just is what it is. Acceptance is courageous. And furthermore, by acknowledging your contribution to where you are, you empower yourself to shift things by taking personal responsibility. And now you get to choose how you look at your circumstance and how you respond to it, ideally in a way that is in alignment with your vision and who you really are, which leads me to the second step, reframing. This is such a fun one. So how is it possible that someone with all the stuff they could possibly want could be so miserable, while a school janitor with just enough to get by could feel so happy and fulfilled? How is it that some people with terminal illnesses are so upbeat and thankful, even in the midst of devastating diagnoses? In short, our personal experience of life is entirely dependent on our perception of it. And as the famous Tony Robbins often says, the quality of our lives is in direct proportion to the quality of our emotions. And guess what? If you have a crappy perception of what's going on in your life, then your emotions will absolutely match that. And physiologically speaking, the most primitive part of the human brain is designed for survival, not happiness. Our brains are great at finding risk and potential threats or danger. So in a nutshell, our brains are designed to look for what's wrong. And that's gotten us this far. But the issue is that this default way of thinking does not serve us on our quest for fulfillment and happiness. So one key thing to keep in mind is that what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. So I challenge you to notice what your default way of thinking is. It can pop up in any context, not just in the middle of a hard time. So I invite you to simply notice. For example, our neighbors have this overgrown tree that blocks part of our ocean view, but we can still get one heck of a view of the ocean. It's pretty amazing. So the other day, my husband and I were looking out the window, the same window from the same room toward the ocean at sunset. And I said, oh, wow, look at that sunset. It's unbelievable. The colors are so beautiful. Look at reflecting off the water. And my husband was not really in the best headspace that day. He'll admit this. And his perception was very different. His response, it gets me every time. He said, if only that freaking tree wasn't in the way, we'd get a better view. So here's the thing, look, challenges come up and we're not pretending that reality, like things that actually happened are not happening. Things happen, but how will you respond? What is your perception? We can choose to reframe anything. Find the gift in every situation. You lost a client, there's a gift there. Find out what it is. Maybe this is your opportunity to sharpen your skills and step up to be the leader you know you're capable of being. Maybe the next step in your business is calling people you don't know and you hate that. There's a gift there. Here's your opportunity to step out of your fear of rejection and people-pleasing tendencies. Now, over the summer, our entire family got the stomach flu at the same time. We have 4 kids. It was ugly. We had a kid on the toilet, 2 in the bath covered in vomit, and another kid in the living room throwing up into a bowl. And my husband was in our bedroom, passed out after vomiting violently. And you know what? I realized it was a Monday afternoon, and I get to be the one here taking care of my family. There's a gift there. Now, reframing is powerful. And it isn't wishful denying the facts, positive BS thinking. In fact, here's what true positive thinking is. It's finding what's going right, focusing on what you want. It's taking a real life challenge and approaching it in the positive rather than the negative. For example, when I had extreme eczema that took over my life for over a year, I couldn't sleep at night. My sheets and pillowcases were covered in blood marks from all the open sores. I had an entire drawer dedicated to pills and creams and steroid stuff for eczema. When I became seriously committed to moving past this issue, I began to focus on what I wanted instead of what I didn't want. And this is like one of those, secrets that legitimately changed my life in so many ways, not just with eczema. So, for example, rather than thinking to myself, I don't want to be itchy anymore. I'm tired of dealing with this. Am I going to have to deal with this for the rest of my life? That's not productive thinking. All right, my thought process became, I want clear skin. I want to be completely healthy. I want to feel energy in my body again. And I'm excited to be 100% well. Now, do you see the difference? You see, our unconscious mind does not process negatives very well. If you say to yourself, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, what's almost certain to happen? You fall. But if you instead say, stay upright, maintain balance, step over the puddle, you're probably going to get a very different result. The mind really does take direction well once we direct it toward what we actually want and make that way of thinking a habit. Whatever we practice grows. And one of my favorite sayings, where focus goes, energy flows. I need to be up on all up on my wall. It really does. Now, because the brain wants the path of least resistance, in other words, the brain is lazy, creating those habits can be very challenging. They're simple in theory, difficult to apply consistently. Now, this is why the third key to finding contentment without losing ambition is support. I'm going to go ahead and set your mind at ease right now. This is not a bait and switch to get you to be my client. You might not be my ideal client. I'm okay with that. Yes, I'm a coach. I support people with self-mastery and high performance. People like you who are high achievers, who want to stop that feeling of always striving so they can begin to really relish and enjoy life. Like drink the sweet nectar of life and all that good stuff. So that they can feel free to be their authentic selves, to be present with their families, to be fully engaged in whatever they're doing. That's my specialty because those are the obstacles that I've personally faced. Now, here's the truth. You may not be my ideal client. I don't know because I haven't connected with you yet. But what I do know for a fact is that you will need support in some way from someone somewhere to keep yourself on track toward your vision, because your vision is not about you. It's not. There are others who are already being impacted by you in some way, whether it's in the way you want it or not. And who else is waiting for you to take ownership of your life? And along your way to fulfilling that vision, you'll need someone or a group of someones to remind you who you are in those moments when you doubt yourself, because those moments will come and they can get very dark. And also to celebrate with you when you're being a total badass, and to keep you accountable to the actions you've committed to taking. Someone to remind you that you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now, to remind you to give yourself permission to breathe and celebrate how far you've come, keeping you focused on the big vision without feeling it as a burden or a weight on your shoulders, because it's not. You get to do this. You don't have to do it. Someone to help you stay in alignment with who you are so you can maintain the ambition and also feel incredibly satisfied with where you are in your life. Look, no one does it alone. No one. Every person considered to be successful in any way had support along the way, and especially has support at the top of their game. In fact, I venture to say the more you achieve and the more success you taste, the more you need the support of someone who is 100% committed to you and your vision and will tell you the truths you need to hear along the way. Now, if you strongly feel that I'm your gal for this kind of support, then I invite you to connect with me, and let's see if this is a great fit by following the button below. We'll talk about your vision and what you want, and I'll challenge you in ways you've not been challenged before. If you don't have a clear vision yet, and you want some help defining that, then that's what we'll do during this time. Take advantage of my offer to connect. And if we are a great fit for each other, then I'll show you how powerful coaching can transform your life. Either way, here's my suggestion. Find yourself a mentor, a coach, an accountability buddy, a group that meets up on a regular basis, or all of the above. Surround yourself with a tribe of high-quality people with big visions, because that's what it takes. Clarify and expand your vision. Accept where you are and focus on what you do want rather than what you don't want. You're moving towards, not away from. And along with that, think about who you want to be. As a man thinks, so he becomes. Or as a woman thinks, so she becomes. You track with me. Who are you becoming? And who are you taking with you? I encourage you to listen to this presentation several times and apply legitimately. Look, this is not going to work for you if you do not apply. So apply the concepts. And if any of this has resonated with you at all, I'd love to simply hear from you what your biggest takeaway was by email at Lucy luci@sexylifecoaching.com. Thank you for joining me for this brief and power-packed presentation, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.